All right, welcome to another Tuesday, 7 o'clock on the Eastern Time Zone. Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy. I'm Scott. This is Joe. Thank you all for tuning in. For those of you that are tuning in live, if you're watching us on recorded version, which I know a lot of people are, thank you so much for the love you've been giving us and the show suggestions and all that. But if you're watching, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notifications button, know when we go live. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. So thank you all for your support. Once again, as always, I'm Scott. And then this is Joe. Brosif, what's happening?
Not too much, man. How you doing?
Living the dream, you know me. Never a dull moment in my world. We got a lot going on.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot going on.
A lot of good things coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So for those of you that don't know, we're going to be on the next, including today, 3 straight weeks. This week, regular Talking Nerdy show where we're going to talk about just our normal dumb shit that we always talk about. Next week, special show. Joe has secured us a special guest, Nightmare Christie from Nightmare Toys in Las Vegas. I am super excited. EC says apparently Joe wants to take a break. So,
he's making fun of others, but I got a chuckle. Yes, go ahead.
Well, as long as you got a chuckle, that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's an inside joke.
Fair enough. I am on the outside looking in, as is in most cases of my life. So Nightmare Christie next week is going to be a really cool show. She's got an awesome store in Las Vegas, one that is on my bucket list to visit the next time I'm in Vegas. Now that I work in the casino industry, I will be there quite soon, I'm hoping. Then the week after, normal Talking Nerdy. I'm hoping that that'll be the follow-up show from Monster Mania, which we will be at on the 12th of March in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So Joe and I will be there. Please, if you're watching the pod and you're at the show, come over and say hello. We'll have a beer and talk about the show and all that cool stuff. But a lot of cool stuff we're going to do at the show. We were just kind of talking before this about some of the people we wanted to meet. So those are going to kind of be the next 3 weeks. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. I guess we'll just jump right into it. I mean, look, Elimination Chamber was last weekend.
Mm-hmm. Let me say one thing about our next week's show is we had the pleasure of having Nightmare Christie on our other show, Well That Effing Figures, and we had such a good time talking to her. The hour went by like that. So we're eventually going to have her on that show again. We wanted her on this one because, as we know, me and you and my other co-host Colin, we're all horror fans to the core. So when I had the chance to get her on this one, we didn't even get through half the things we wanted to talk about with her on the other show. So there's plenty more to talk about, and it's going to be an exciting week next week. So don't miss that one for sure. And
100%.
That'll be fun.
I feel like next week is going to be a horror only show.
It better be.
Which I am super stoked about because we have a lot to talk about in the world of horror. So definitely, I agree. Will not want to miss that one. Christy is, if you haven't gone and watched the episode from That Effing Figures, I have. She is so engaging and so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a great hour next week with the three of us.
She really is. She's a great young lady, and it's fun talking to her. But Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. By the way, you just said great young lady. You sound like you're 90. Do you have some hard candy in your pocket, Grandpa?
Yeah. Well, I'm almost 50, dude. You should know that because I think you're almost 50 also.
Yes, but not until later this year. I don't walk around going, "Excuse me, young lady, would you like a hard candy?"
Well, maybe you should get some practice because you're gonna need to. Jesus. Anyway, Elimination Chamber. Before you're in it with me and I win. We talked about it a little bit, but what did you think overall? Everything good? No complaints?
Candidly, I thought it was a solid show from start to finish. At the end of the day, it was a show that was meant to be a bridge show between the Rumble and WrestleMania. And look, those shows usually have very, very little excitement because everybody kind of knows there's not going to be any title changes. It's going to be kind of a really flat booking style show. Candidly, I was not 100% sure that title wasn't going to change hands at the end.
Yeah. We were talking about this with our last guest the other day on the other show, and I felt the same way. Like with all the rumors going around, it wasn't 100%.
Oh,
Being in Montreal and the ovation he got, and just the way the R just felt off. Like I really wasn't sure if he was going to win it. So they did a great job booking that match. There's only one little part of that match that I found kind of quirky, and let me see if you agree. So the first referee gets knocked out of the ring.
right.
Jimmy Uso comes in, does his thing, kicks the shit out of Sammy, blah, blah. The second referee comes down, sees what he's doing to Sammy. He puts puts Roman on top of Sammy, and that second referee is counting 1, 2, 3. Like, wait a minute. You just saw the interference. That should have probably been a disqualification. It was kind of quirky right there. Just that one little spot.
I think the timing was a little off because normally, when the referee comes down, he's already pinned and he slides in and it's 1, 2,
Yeah, the timing was definitely off. I mean, it was quirky. It wasn't bad. It was just quirky.
No, and look, I mean, looking back over the whole show, look, by the way, the men's chamber match was fantastic.
It was.
The Montez Ford spot and how he sold that quote unquote injury, to kind of give some credence to Logan Paul popping in and taking Rollins out.
Very good.
Was really well done. I mean, look, that guy is a single star in the making.
I can't wait to see him do big things. I really can't.
Yeah, not that I don't like Angelo Dawkins. He's fine, but I just feel like the real star of that is Montez Ford.
He's the Shawn Michaels of the group, and unfortunately, that means that Dawkins is the Marty Jannetty. Oh. And I just don't think he has the star power as Montel. Montel has the look, the physique, the mic skills. He's going to have a show with Bianca on. He's kind of going to have he's like the new Miz too. I mean, he's going to have his own TV show.
Him and Bianca will have their own show.
I would love to see him as the U.S. champ sometime, or even the Intercontinental champion. Something.
I don't want to see him take the belt off Gunther yet, but the U.S. champion, I wouldn't mind them taking the belt off Austin Theory.
I just don't think they'll do that yet either.
By the way, all the champions are heels, except for Bianca. Oh, and Charlotte.
I think next week that changes too, because I think, unfortunately, Amy Dumas and Lita, whatever you want to call her, and Becky Lynch are going to win the tag titles, I think. Well, I can't see them not winning them after last night, the way they set it up.
I don't see it. I think not. Want you to think that. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to set up Damage Control to go against Ronda and
Baszler. Yeah.
Baszler, Shayna.
That would make more sense. I mean, I really don't know how long Lita's going to be around. So why make her a tag champ just to lose it again and play hot potato with that belt?
But that belt, those belts have no legitimacy anyway. Let's be honest. I mean, they're boring.
They are. They should just have one women's tag team belt for all the shows, including NXT.
Well, when they used to do that, because remember the women's tag champs would show up on NXT, on SmackDown, on Raw, and it was more fun because then you gave them more opportunity. Mm-hmm. Now it's like you have the NXT tag champs. Fine, okay. By the way, I don't even know who the women's tag champs are at NXT. I haven't watched it in like a month.
I don't really know. I think I really don't know. I wouldn't know their names anyway. I don't watch it enough.
No,
and even the girls, I did know their name. They changed them, so I don't know what their names are now.
Good point. So Elimination Chamber, solid show, beginning to end. I mean, look, for me, it was a solid B. It wasn't an A. The main event really. I mean, I would probably even say B plus because the main event was amazing. The fact that they were able to stand in the ring for what seemed like 5 minutes before they did anything, and the crowd never died. They did not lose a single person in that crowd.
Yep.
was
Montreal was on fire that night. That was a good crowd, man. And they
were
normally
hot.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, they always are. And they hadn't been to Montreal in years.
Especially
So
for a pay-per-view, yeah. Yep.
Right. So that was kind of cool. And they got like some Montreal royalty with George Rush St. Pierre from, MMA. He was in the crowd, Ariel Helwani. That was kind of cool. But then that leads us into Raw last night. And look, candidly, I fell asleep about 2 hours in.
Me too.
Not intentionally. I really wanted to make it all the way to the end. I did catch up with what happened this morning when I got up, but look, I thought the show started strong. They are slow playing Sammy and there's our third co-host Jack.
There he is.
They are slow playing the Sammy Kevin Owens angle, and I think it's masterfully going to be done.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't rush it. Like, because look, if it was Vince, they'd have rushed it. They'd have hugged. It would have been a soft moment, and then all would have been forgiven. I like how this is a little edgier, and I think there are so many moving parts with still, 5 weeks to WrestleMania.
Yep, 39 days. Yep.
There is still a lot of story to tell to get us there. So I love that they're not rushing it.
Yeah, this is something we haven't had in years, where you look forward to next week,
right?
Instead of every week starting fresh and being the same crappy matches over and over.
Well,
or
think
a
about
variation
it.
of the same matches.
Right now for WrestleMania, we know for sure 3 matches. That's it.
Yeah.
And this time last year, we knew half the card already.
And
I mean,
like
look,
it like this better. It's way better like this.
Look, I think you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. Logan Paul is going to go against Seth Rollins. We can speculate a few of the other things. Like, look, John Cena is supposed to show up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's going to answer the Austin Theory challenge.
Yep.
So, look, I even like how they're setting that up. I mean, look, I don't think Cena's going to win. But stranger things have happened. I would love to get the belt off Austin Theory. I don't like him one bit.
What I would love to see is, and they kind of, it was kind of strange that Bray Wyatt would call out the winner of Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. But now I'm starting to see if between the next 39 days, if the Hurt Business gets back together, maybe it will be Hurt Business versus Wyatt 6.
You're not going to have that whole thing, but I think they'll be the neutralizer, because I think what they'll do is because look, Bobby Lashley did win that match by disqualification. So, maybe that becomes something where the Hurt Business jumps Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, and that's how they introduce the Wyatt 6. Maybe.
Yeah, I
hope. There's a lot of possibilities. And EC, I agree with you. I absolutely despise Logan Paul.
Me too. But I gotta say, he's just actually not bad in the ring.
He's not bad in the ring, but he's just a garbage human being.
Lay down, bud. There's our fourth co-host.
Oh, our fourth co-host. That's right. Oliver's hanging out with us tonight.
Right there. He's back there.
Yeah. Jack is now under my feet. So
he's trying.
So, look, overall, it's been a solid month for wrestling as a whole. I mean, you go back to the Rumble, the right people won.
Yeah.
In my opinion. The end of the Roman Kevin Owens match was amazing. I think they've really played the road to WrestleMania at the beginning perfectly. I'm looking forward to the next 5 weeks.
It's gonna be good.
I'm going to put it out there that I know we have said this before, and Joe and I have both had some things going on in our lives that have prevented us from doing these things recently, but we are definitely doing the WrestleMania watch along.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. This is going to happen. Knocking on wood, as long as we don't have any other personal issues come up, not personal issues between the two of us, we're fine. I mean, personal issues in general.
Right.
But, as long as everything keeps moving along as it should, we'll be together for WrestleMania. We'll be broadcasting. And, we hope you guys will join along with us. Maybe some special guests. We might do it on another page, but we'll broadcast it here, what our plans are.
I know at least EC wants to come on, and another special guest said she may be able to. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll let you know about that, and then maybe Dre. So it could be a possibility of being like 4 to 5 of us. So
That could be fun.
that
That
will
really
be fun.
could.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we're slowly but surely getting EC back into wrestling, so that's good too. It's fun to
Just don't watch
him.
AEW, EC. You'll be
No,
fine.
he's starting to procrastinate. I can see he's starting to get the feel back.
Well, look, he's probably getting tired of listening to us talk about all this shit and not know what we're talking about.
Well, you know what else too? Like with wrestling being so good the past couple months, like you said, it's kind of taken away from my loose cannon segment. So again tonight, I really don't have anything to bitch about. They're really putting the damper on my segment here.
Well, you don't have anything.
I could bitch about AEW if you want, but
well, all I'm going to do is just agree with you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the suggestions that we got from one of our listeners that go back and watch us on YouTube, and again, for those of you that do, thank you so much. Hit subscribe and like. They wanted to hear us, kind of talk a little bit about Star Wars. They kind of requested a bit of a Star Wars show, something that you may or may not know about Joe and myself. We are tremendous Star Wars nerds.
I don't know if you can tell, but
Darth Vader behind you.
Yeah.
And they can't even see all the helmets.
No.
EC said, well, then I'm out. No loose cannon, no show. Joe, we need to have t-shirts printed.
Yeah. No loose cannon, no show. That's a good shirt.
No loose cannon. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm a loose cannon too. I can already see it. $signs, baby. The merch is coming. We have talked a little bit about merch, a little bit. I don't think we're there yet.
No.
We're still a couple months in. we get this up to 100 plus views per show. We're probably going to start looking at it. So keep spreading the word, because we want some loose cannon shirts and some of the shit that we say on a regular basis. You can
have a shirt that says "candidly."
Yeah, candidly.
Or
first of all, how dare you?
Yeah.
That's another one. So, so we got some stuff about some questions about Star Wars. And like I said, Joe and I, tremendously big Star Wars fans. I think that was kind of one of the first things we bonded over when we met.
Probably
all those years ago.
Yeah.
Was Star Wars. So for those of you that have heard this story, Joe and I met in the 5th grade. Was my first or second day. I transferred schools. I was moving from one Catholic school to another, and Joe sat right next to me. I think I had like a Star Wars Trapper Keeper. That's how old I am. Trapper Keepers. Think about this, people. And Joe commented on it, and from then on, we have been friends for the better part of 40 years.
The funny thing is, I probably had the same Trapper Keeper, and we're like, "Hey, we got the same Trapper Keeper, dude." Like,
we're
we
cool.
didn't say "dude," probably. Like,
no, probably not.
Want to go down to the stationery store? Remember the stationery store though? That was nice to have that in the basement of St. E's.
Yeah, with that one the half door that would open.
Yeah, and they would sell the little soft pretzels, and we could get our big red notebooks down there. If anybody doesn't know what our big red remember the big red notebooks with the big Indian chief on the front?
Yep.
If you can still say that, I don't know, but
that's offensive. It's Native American chief, sir.
Okay. A Native American chief on the front with the big head.
First of all,
a nice notebook, man. I supported.
But yeah, we went to a small Catholic school. So, look, for context, I think I had 100 people in my graduating class when I graduated high school.
And now look at us. We listen to devil worshiper music and love horror movies. So I guess it worked.
It did.
Kudos.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah.
Well done.
Fucking did it.
Yeah. Take a bow. Take a victory lap.
Look what you've created.
Here we are. But Star Wars for us was kind of a big thing. I mean, look, back when we were younger, and we're talking like the late 80s, the mid to late 80s, We only had the original trilogy, and what I mean by original trilogy is 4, 5, and 6: New Hope, Empire, Jedi. Those were the three that we had as kids, and that was all we had. Other than, we had the Ewoks movies that had come out, and we had the Christmas special. And for those of you that don't know what the Star Wars Christmas special is, it is legitimately the cheesiest and just the biggest cash grab ever, where they go to, to Kashyyyk for Chewbacca's version of Christmas. And they're all in it for all the characters are in it for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Very cheesy.
By the way, it's on YouTube. So just do yourself a favor, get really fucking high and watch this.
On life.
You will literally think it's a piece of art. It is just, I mean, you probably need to get really stoned to watch the Ewoks movies too.
Maybe.
Candidly. Because those were equally as bad.
So are you caught up on all the prequels and all the sideshows, the like the Bad Batch, all that stuff? Are you caught up?
The only thing I haven't watched is season 2 of Bad Batch.
Okay.
Everything else I'm caught up on. And that was kind of where I was going to go with this is, when we started, we had 3 movies. That was it. And then for a really long time, that was all we had. And you debated, what was your favorite? Was it A New Hope? Was it Empire? By the way, there is a wrong answer here. So, to me, I think if back when we were kids, if you liked anything other than Empire, we looked down on you. Am I wrong?
That's my favorite of the 3.
Me too.
But if you're gonna go favorite of all that's available now, Rogue One. For me.
I mean, Rogue One was good.
And let me tell you why. Is because when Star Wars first started, the very first one, Episode 4, they were talking about the plans for the Death Star, right?
Sure.
When Rogue One came out, now you finally saw where those plans and what they meant to that first show, the first movie. It brings it all together. Even to the point, and I've said this multiple times on different podcasts or live streams, to the point where the one commander was killed in Rogue One at the end. I believe it was the end. And then on Episode 4, there's an empty seat. Now, that was done 40 years prior, 30 years prior. To have that kind of detail, that's detail right there. I love that they looked into it so much that they had that empty seat there for the person that got killed in Rogue One. It was just very well done to me, and I love the whole movie. Rogue One was it for me. It was well done. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, if I'm going to look at all of the outside the canon films, and by the canon films I mean the 9, the 9, the Anakin Skywalker movies. That's essentially what they're all about. That's the central character in most of them. So if you look outside the 9, look, Rogue One was by far the best movie they did. I mean, Solo was okay. It was okay. I liked how they told the story. I liked it. I mean, but it was just okay. Yeah.
It could have been way better. Like, you could have seen him do the Kessel Run. You could have seen some other things that they referenced in some of the other movies. But, and yeah, easy, I agree. 8 was a waste, a complete and total waste.
But I still watched it. I still like, I like them all. I can't not like them.
We watched all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, look, to me also, look, I didn't think the Clone Wars was that good.
See, and I love the Clone Wars was okay. You're talking about the animated, right?
No, I'm talking about the actual movie.
Well, the actual Clone War animated was good.
That was good.
The movie, it was okay, but the Bad Batch, man, I love it. It's the first actually animated show that I've been into in years, and I'm talking about years and years and years. Like my favorite is Wrecker. I'm a Wrecker guy. I love Stormtroopers, Wrecker. I love all those, man. And I just thought it was really well done for an animated show. And especially season 2 was really, and I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but it was really well done.
It's on my list. I mean, look, here's the thing. Bad Batch season 1 was amazing. And 2 is not going to let me down. I had to finish Andor. It is. I am now done. I also had to finish Willow. So now that those two things are done, I'm going to watch the second Black Panther movie, and then I'm going to start Bad Batch season 2.
Yeah.
Clone Wars animated was good. Completely agree, wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. So, if we look at, I never really quite got when we were younger, the fact that they told these movies out of sequence. You had the middle 3, then the first 3, then the last 3. And look, there's a lot of parts of the last 3 I'd like to do away with and just turn it into one movie. Oh yeah, Rebels was another good animated show. Candidly, also was Droids from years ago, where it was, C-3PO and R2-D2. That was an underrated show as well.
Like I said, I don't think there's anything I don't like when it comes to Star Wars. Like, honestly, can't stand to watch. I don't think there's one available. Let me just say, hey, what's up to Dre? Hey, man, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Of course. And look, we haven't even talked about what really reinvigorated, in my opinion, the entire canon, and that's The Mandalorian.
Yes.
I mean, if there is a perfect piece of storytelling, it is that.
Oh my God, I love it. Now talking show. Now that's the show that stole the show from me. I love The Mandalorian. Yeah. I love Boba Fett too, but The Mandalorian is the absolute best show that I've watched when it comes to Star Wars. Period.
Well, look at it from this perspective, right? It got people talking about characters that, it got us all invested. And Dre, that's a great point.
That's exactly right what he just said.
Yep. Mandalorian created new fans and invigorated reinvigorated old ones.
Because just when you're getting tired of the movies and they're getting a little maybe draggy, you don't want to see another one. There's a couple that you are just not feeling. Now they brought out The Mandalorian and just reinvigorated everything. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, think about Pedro Pascal, by the way. Everything that fucking guy touches turns to gold lately.
It does.
He was in Game of Thrones. He was the Viper. Had one of the most epic death scenes in Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Then, he moves on to The Mandalorian, and that thing is just a mint. They just print on that. Which, by the way, the reason what got us thinking about this was not just my buddy Ben, and Ben, if you're watching this show is all for you, buddy. What got me thinking about it too is that, look, The Mandalorian's back in a month.
Yeah.
We're literally going to be able to, in a month, start talking about new episodes again. And the teaser trailers have looked unbelievable.
I think it's less than that. Like, is it March 3rd or 9th? Something like that. It comes out, I believe.
I thought it was like the 24th.
Maybe you're right. I thought I saw something about the 3rd or the 9th, but I may be wrong.
Oh, it is next week. All right. So I stand caught up.
Which, so
I can't. So there you go. So we'll be starting to talk about that, not next week, because next week is a horror show, but the week after, we're 100% going to fucking talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you all have been warned. You better watch it, because we're going to talk about it. And look, I mean, there are. It's got a lot of mixes where it's like, like where you see, The Mandalorian help, fucking Tusken Raiders, for the love of God. You never see that kind of level of interaction. You want to, and to kind of go back to the widespread appeal. I mean, think about it. My niece, when the first season came out, was like 2. But the first character that she was able to gravitate towards was Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got a giant Grogu that, you know, she's 5 now, and she carries that little bastard around everywhere.
As does Mando.
As does Mando. You are absolutely right. You know, I'm really interested to see where they take it. By the way, they already said they have the next season written.
Good. Good. Yeah, keep it going. I mean, I think there's plenty they can do with it. There's a lot you can do.
Well, look, I mean,
They haven't touched it.
You're going to have Ahsoka after that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is going to be another one.
Yeah, EC always hates Grogu, but get used to him, dude. He's not going anywhere. He's money.
Well, and he's green. So.
He's money for Disney, dude. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, man. I mean, everybody's kid has something Grogu related now. Especially if you've been to Disney in the last 3 years, they're all over the place. Yeah. I mean, hell, my brother and his wife and my niece, they went to Disney last year, and literally is sending me pictures from the park, and it's everything is Grogu now.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, it's really cool to see, you know, the Star Wars universe get a little bit of love. I mean, look, for as much as everybody was really scared when Disney bought it, and I was at Disney for Star Wars weekends, the weekend that the sale was official, and George Lucas was at the parade. So literally, I got to hear him speak when they reopened Star Tours and all that years and years ago. You know, the girl I was with at the time went with me on vacation, knew that it was Star Wars weekends, and literally was like, this is really, and I was geeking the fuck out. I mean, George Lucas, by the way, 100 fucking degrees in the summer, and fucking Lucas is up there wearing fucking flannel. This fucking guy's a lunatic, but he's got more money than God at this point.
He can wear flannel wherever he wants, I guess. He got enough money to do that. So
his house is wallpapered in flannel, probably. You know, they don't have a lot of humidity in San Francisco.
Yes. No.
I totally forgot. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, Disney. I mean, a lot of people freaked out about, you know, Disney buying Star Wars and thinking, oh my God, they're going to just do shit to roll it out and print money. And look, to a point, they have. I'm not going to say that some of these things haven't been a cash grab, you know, like the remasters of the first 3 movies, and then turning around and making 7, 8, 9 the way they did. Candidly, 7, 8, 9 are the weakest 3 of the 9. Am I wrong?
No. No, they definitely relaxed on them for sure.
I mean, look, J.J. Abrams, you know, did what he could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe George Lucas for a second when he said that he had always planned on this being 9 movies. I don't believe it. Don't believe it for a second, because there was no way that was his vision.
No.
There was no fucking way. Now, granted, this is the same man that brought us Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so I will not forgive him for that. So, I mean, he very well could have fucked up 7, 8, 9 in some small way. Who knows? And by the way, there will be an Indiana Jones show coming this summer when the 4th and final film drops. Oh God, and the games, Dre, don't get me started. Oh yes, Knights of the Old Republic. Oh my goodness gracious, yes. And as a gamer myself, Joe not so much as he used to be, but there's a game now, Jedi Order.
I actually consider getting that. Yeah, that's one that I wouldn't mind playing.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's the brand new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jedi Order. There is a sequel to it called Jedi Survivor that's coming out. I don't know if it's already out or if it's coming out.
I know there's something new out that people have been playing or advertising or something. I got a PlayStation 5, but I haven't really bought a ton of stuff for it yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, look, you think about it. Like, they've got Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out, right? Then Star Wars Hunters, which is going to be about bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to do a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. That's coming.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do a first-person shooter game for Star Wars, which they kind of sort of did with Battlefront, but Battlefront, the second Battlefront was a little better. They're going to do an RPG style game. They have a lot of things in the pipeline. So I'm super pumped for the games. There's just so much that Disney has been able to do since they outsourced a lot of the game stuff. So I think that, look, if you haven't played the most recent Star Wars games, definitely, at the very least, do you have an Xbox One?
Me, no. I have a PlayStation 5, but
okay.
I am looking at right now the Jedi Survivor game. I may have to get that.
Yeah, I have it pre-ordered.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in March. I could be wrong.
Let me see. Does it say?
I just saw it and pre-ordered it because I love the first one. So,
April 28th. April 28th. Okay. Yeah.
Great. That's going to be a good weekend.
That's probably going to be the game I'm going to get next for my play.
Definitely play the first one because there's a lot of. It's very story driven.
What's the first one called?
Like Fallen Order.
Okay.
Something like that. It's like Star Wars Jedi, like Fallen Order or something. I haven't played it in a minute, but I need to. I need to go back and replay it. It's definitely a must do, brother. You will not be disappointed.
Star Wars Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. I was right. How about that? You went broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh, only $25.
Well, it's been out for years, dude.
Well, it's the first I'm hearing about it. So
well, that's because
I don't play games that much, but I'm starting to get back into them little by little. This is Amazon for $24.92. That's not bad.
I mean, you could probably get it. You could probably download it right on PlayStation Network, and it'd probably be like, yeah, Dre's right. It's like probably like $20.
Yeah.
Look at it. Looking for download first.
I'm old school. I want the disc, man. I want to put.
They're going to stop doing that. I read.
I don't know if they can now that they sold the disc version. Can they?
They can. They can get completely away from that.
I just don't like the idea. I want the disc, man.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm tired of having all that fucking hard drive space. I had to add 2 hard drives to my Xbox.
Well, like I was telling somebody the other day, I think, it's like I remember being able to just put the game in and play. Now you got to wait like 2 hours before you can get started.
Yep.
Because you got to download.
Well, that's because all the graphics and how much detail there is. That's why it takes like 5 years to make these fucking things.
Yeah.
So what we should do is once you finally get into it is like have like a replay talk along.
We could do a live stream playing. We can play online live.
Nobody wants to watch us do that.
Let's do it.
Nobody wants to watch us do that.
I'm sure they do. I watch people play.
But we're not
on here, dude. People will watch anything.
That's true. But look, candidly, definitely worth it though. But look, the Star Wars universe has become so vast. I mean, they're talking about so many other movies and stuff coming out too. Like, I know you have the Ahsoka series coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You have. Let's see. After that, I don't know if there's anything. I mean, like you have The Mandalorian. Oh, there's Skeleton Crew, which is going to be another Disney series. There's that. Then they did say they're definitely doing a second season of Andor, by the way.
Okay.
Which will be very, very cool. And then they
That
still
was
they
okay too.
I enjoyed that. I mean, look, as
Yeah.
much as you liked Rogue One, I'm shocked you didn't like Andor more.
Oh, the first few episodes were a little slow, but it got better. I liked it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then they're also going to have the Acolyte. Um, and I'm trying to think about what that is going to entail. The Acolyte, I think it's going to be like before the original trilogy, like the epic, the Republic era.
Mhm.
So, like when it was like the height of the strength of the Jedi. So, um, I'm kind of excited because the guy that did Netflix's series Russian Doll, which was really good if you haven't seen it.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right, Dre. The Jude Law series, that's Skeleton Crew. That's right. Um, but Daphne Keene is going to be in it, and Amanda Steinberg are going to be in Acolyte, if I remember correctly. Um, and I also think that there is going to be a Lando series, if I remember correctly. But I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to do like old Lando with, Billy D. Williams, or the new Lando with Donald Glover.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard about that show too. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're gonna do there. I
Yeah,
hope it does better than his action figure because his action figure has been sitting on the pegs for over a year or more.
yeah.
So,
And I know they're going to do a follow up to Rogue One called Rogue Squadron at some point. That's going to be another movie. So that'll be kind of cool. I mean, there's a lot of which one is Carrie Ann Moss on, Dre? We've covered a lot all of a sudden. The Acolyte.
I think he's talking about Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Okay. I mean, think about it though. There's so many things that like Disney has in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I don't know how much longer they're going to run Mandalorian. Acolyte.
Acolyte.
I'm really kind of pumped for Acolyte, by the way, because you don't really ever get those, Republic era shows. Everything's been, Empire, 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 which is fine because, you need some conflict. But it would be kind of cool to see that vantage point of like what it was like when the Jedi was at their strongest.
Right.
Oh, you know what I wonder is if we'll get a little Mace Windu action in there.
Might.
Do they bring back Samuel L. Jackson?
They could.
All right, so think about this. Top 5 Star Wars characters. You got to do a Mount Rushmore. Top 5. Or your top 5 star. And you can do the entire catalog. Doesn't have to just be the trilogy or the original 9. Give me whatever you've got.
Well, for me, Darth Vader got to be there.
Sure.
I would
Completely.
say
Can't argue that.
I love stormtroopers, so you got to put a stormtrooper there. I don't care which one, but I just love stormtroopers. So, Wrecker has got to be there.
Okay.
Darth Maul probably.
Okay, that's a good one.
And I gotta say, probably the Emperor Palpatine.
That's an interesting list. I did not expect that from you, by the way.
Yeah.
Totally did not expect that from you. Okay.
How about you?
Darth Vader definitely on that list.
Gotta be
100% on that list. There's no doubt. By the way, fun story. My father loves to tell this story of I went to go see Star Wars in the theaters in this little shitty movie theater at the Newcastle Square Mall in Delaware, where we used to live. And my father likes to say that every time Darth Vader would, and I'm like, I don't know, 5, 6 years old. Every time Darth Vader would come on the screen, I would stand there and just point at the screen. Dude's a badass, wholeheartedly a badass. So also on that list, Han Solo. Han Solo is the shit. To me, he was my favorite hero, so to speak, in the movies. I think you're gonna throw Princess Leia on there because she was, she was like she was the snarky comic relief in a lot of ways sometimes, but you know, I love that. And Dre gave us his list. Colin, throw your list on there because I want to see what yours is.
Yeah, I kind of regret not putting the Mandalorian on there too. I kind of
Mando is on that.
He's got to be on mine. I might take Darth Maul out and put him. I don't know. We'll see.
And candidly, I'm stunned I haven't seen this on anyone's list. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, yeah. There's so many. It's hard to pick 5. It's really hard.
It really is. Well, and look, that's why I asked that question. I mean, you had to go 5 across the entire Star Wars saga.
Because now I'm kind of like regretting that I didn't say Vader, Boba, Mando. Right off the bat, those 3.
And think about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's tough.
It really is. I mean, look, Obi-Wan is not on anybody's list. I mean, there's just some shit. Qui-Gon isn't on anybody's list. R2 definitely an honorable mention in there. I mean, there's so many ways you could have gone. But look, to me, those are my 5 go-tos. And they're all mostly original canon, but then Mando snuck in there.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is that Rogue One is your favorite. You didn't pick anybody off of there.
Yeah, I don't think it was my favorite character wise. It was just my favorite story wise.
That's fair. All right, that's fair.
They didn't have enough. I mean, I don't think the characters were that,
complex.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I just think it was more story driven for me, like leading into the very first ever episode, rather than I love this character. This is why I love this movie.
Yeah, and look, for me, if I had to pick, a movie that, by the way, every time it's on, I turn it on. If I come across it every time Empire, I stop and I watch it.
Yeah.
That's been the beautiful part about like TBS having the licensing on some of these things, because you can go in and they're on like on a random Saturday and they play all 9 in a row.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. They'll do it over the course of a whole weekend. I mean, think about how much Star Wars has kind of changed or formed in our landscape in our lifetime. It's got its own fucking holiday now.
Yeah.
May the 4th.
Yep.
Look, where I work, we are legitimately having a May the 4th party. And at our casino.
Nice.
Where everybody's going to dress up in like something Star Wars related. In our team member dining room, there'll be Star Wars playing in the dining room all day. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that it has truly transcended just pop culture, and is now as a part of everyday life, I guess is the best way to say it. I mean, are there a lot of days that go by where you don't reference something Star Wars?
Never.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of days I go through and legit, I 100% will quote something Star Wars related. It's either a line from the movie or something that happened or some kind of reference.
Definitely.
Something at work today. We were sitting there talking about something in some financial statement, and literally they were saying, our odds of something were, 5-1 of us making it. I turned to the finance person. I went, "Never tell me the odds." They didn't get it. Completely did not get it. Like stone faced. Like legit stone faced. So, I got to tell you this really cool thing that we're doing at work. So, to get off Star Wars for just a second. So, I work at a casino that is movie based. That's kind of our shtick, or is our theme. I work for a company called Hollywood Casino. So I'm a new executive. I'm their overall their director of human resources, right? So get this. So normally when you have executives, there's some kind of like, hey, here's your list of executives and here's a little bit about them, right? Like kind of a short bio.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a new GM who started back in July who was like, we're not going to do that. It doesn't fit with our theme, doesn't fit with our brand. So what she did is she actually did this thing where she had she had each of us say what our favorite movies were. We had to give 3 movies and gave them along with a picture of our faces to an artist. And the artist actually drew us into the movie poster.
Nice.
So
what did you pick?
So the 3 movies I picked was Empire, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Jaws. By the way, I didn't know what it was for. When we were just asked what were our 3 favorite movies, because I thought it was going to be for our bio. No big deal.
Which one did they draw all of you? Jaws?
No, that would have been much funnier being a human resources person. They said that it would have made HR a little less approachable, which I get. I'm already not that approachable to begin with. So they chose for me Indiana. They chose Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I'm going to try to hold this up. I don't think you're going to be able to see it because it's in black and white. It's not the finished product. Can you see that?
No. Not really.
No. Okay.
Send it to me. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But it is literally me on one of the Raiders of the Lost Ark pictures. By the way, when we get the finished ones, when they're all colored in, because we're going to put them up around the casino in the back of the house. When these are done, I will get a picture of it and I'll post it up on the podcast like we did with the Terrifier picture.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. Like the picture that they took of me, my beard was a little longer because I had my playoff beard going. And like the picture looks, the picture looks badass, dude. I mean, right now it's just a pencil sketch, so it's not completed. But dude, it looks badass.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah. So I digress. But I will say when we get to the summer, and I think it's going to be around May when the new Indiana Jones movie comes out, 100% going to do an Indiana Jones show. Dre wants to be involved. Absolutely. We will have Indiana Jones show with some special guests. Don't see any reason why we couldn't. This one kind of came together real quickly, just based on some feedback and some requests. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of those things. So Joe, we got about 5-7 minutes left in the show. So if you had to pick 3 movies in order, what would your 3 movies be? Whole Star Wars, and we're just talking about the movies. And it could be, and we can include, I know Rogue One's your number 1, so we don't have to go there.
Yeah. Empire's there, so that's number 2. Number 3, maybe Revenge of the Sith.
Ooh. Interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
Show your work.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just, if I'm not mistaken, and I may be, that's the one where, and that's why I like it. The one where Darth Vader falls into the lava, and that's how. Yeah, I like that one because it shows how he was created, and what happened to make him that way, and things like that. I enjoyed that one. I may be in the minority on that. That's okay. But sure. I like that one a lot.
Did not expect that from you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
100% did not expect that.
Yeah. What are yours?
So definitely going to go Empire 1.
Mm-hmm.
We already know that it is completely a damn near perfect Star Wars film with an unhappy ending.
Yeah.
2. God, there's so many things to choose from, but I'm gonna say New Hope to me is probably 2. Because it's really kind of where you fell in love with the universe.
And if you
It's
like
the
New
one that
Hope, you gotta like Rogue One, or else,
that's not true. I
You
don't
don't
have
think?
to do anything you say.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, but I am going to throw Rogue One in at 3.
See?
And look, and I agree with you that look in terms of storytelling, it's seamless. It filled in some gaps. That last 10 minutes was fucking amazing.
Mhm.
So, look, a lot of arguments could be made here for look, if anybody picks the Clone Wars, you should hit yourself in the head with a tack hammer or 7. 8 was by far an abomination. I don't even think the guy that wrote and directed it likes it. That's how bad it was. 9 was a little more tolerable because you got to me though 9 got disqualified because that's where Han Solo dies. And I'm sorry, the minute that happened, I'm like, nope, I'm done. I'm
Did you
done.
freeze? Oh.
No.
It looked like you froze, dude.
Literally just went to
Yeah, you went.
yes, Colin. 8 should be erased. I don't acknowledge it. I mean, you have to say the 9, but whatever. I by the way, I have only seen that movie one time.
So did you?
I
So
saw
you?
it
Go ahead.
in the theater opening night. I have not seen it since.
So, what's your feelings on Revenge of the Sith? Since you were kind of shocked. I mean, I don't know why the shock, because this is where, at the time, the Chancellor Palpatine lured Anakin in to the dark side. I mean, that's where not the whole story starts, but that's where you start to see, like, all right, so this guy and how he turned into Darth Vader as we know him now. I mean, it just makes sense for me. I mean, I think that's one of the ones that had to be done, and they did it really well.
From the pure standpoint of the story, I get it. The acting was so bad.
Yeah, everybody loves Anakin, though, man. Everybody, they still talk about Anakin to this day. Anakin. So he must have done something right.
It's the character himself. It's not the dude that played him.
I don't know, man.
Dude, he was a mannequin playing it.
I don't agree totally. I mean, I agree he's not Oscar award winning, but I don't think the guy who's going to turn into Darth Vader has to be award winning. I mean, it's kind of plays into the character.
But I think you have to be able to play the complexity a lot better than he did. I mean, look, he was put in a very difficult position. It is a tough character to play. There's a lot of expectations, but legit, he's awful, and there's a reason he hasn't fucking done anything since those movies. He's just straight up hot garbage.
Sometimes people get lured into, like, once they do a character, they're stuck with everybody knowing them by that character alone. So sometimes it's really difficult.
Well, look, you could from that,
especially if you don't do a perfect job. Like, I guess, like you said, was he Oscar award winning? No,
but for me, it killed that movie.
I mean,
just fucking killed that movie.
James Earl Jones is probably the best part of Star Wars, period, and he never appeared in any of them. He was just a voice.
That's correct.
I mean, he's the guy when you think of Star Wars, you think of that voice. And that's the voice of James Earl Jones. So,
or CNN. This
is CNN.
Well, look, we're right up against it. So once again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out, talking some Star Wars with us. A little bit of fun on the show tonight. A little unexpected. Don't forget, join us next week, 7:00. Nightmare Christie is with us for our all horror spectacular. I call it a spectacular. I have no fucking clue we're going to talk about because we make this up as we're going along.
Are you going to dress up?
I doubt it.
You're not going to wear a horror shirt or nothing?
I'll probably wear a horror shirt.
No mask?
Only if you take yours off, bitch.
I was going to say put one on. We might get more viewers.
So, I hope you step on a Lego later.
I'd probably step on one a few times on this broadcast, but anyway.
Exactly. So join us next week because we will be back 1 week from today with Nightmare Christie. For those of you watching along, please make sure you hit subscribe and the like button. We want to thank you all for watching with us tonight. On behalf of Joe, I am Scott. We've been talking nerdy. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
May the force be with you all.